Hi everyone, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new video. So for today's video, we're going to be taking a look into whether Mercedes' dominance is over. We know that over the last couple of weeks, the tables have definitely turned, and it's something that has turned for the first time in a while. Okay, we have not seen anything like this for a good 7 or 8 years, so I thought I would have a little sit down and see whether I actually believe that this Mercedes dominance is over or whether they're going to come back stronger. Before I get into the video, if you do enjoy it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So we know that since 2014 Mercedes have dominated this turbo hybrid era. They have not really had anybody coming up against them, but around 2017 2018 we had Ferrari coming into the mix a little bit, but nobody ever really threatened Mercedes, and they have won every constructors and every drivers championship since that 2014 mark. However, 2021, the final year of these regulations, looks like it may be set to change. Now, Red Bull normally come into testing, they either come in okay but it doesn't last, or they come in just like not very good and it just carries on like that really. So, you know, Red Bull came into testing quite strong this year and we thought, oh no worries, like they'll do this all the time, and then like we get to the race and then they won't hold on. However, they came into testing very good and they held on. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look at the race results for the first couple of races, because at the start, you know, we could see Red Bull was strong, but Mercedes kind of had the upper hand, but that didn't last too long. So going into Bahrain, Verstappen actually got pole position. However, it did end up the day being Hamilton winning, Verstappen in P2 and Bottas in P3. So fairly the same as usual, you know. I think we saw from 2020 that Verstappen was kind of stepping up and Valtteri Bottas was stepping down. You know, we always said that that P3 seat was Max Verstappen's, but it kind of turned around to being more like Valtteri Bottas's, so that result was fairly normal to us. Italy, they swapped back around and Verstappen won that race and Hamilton was P2, but again, I don't think Mercedes really felt any threat. I think they just thought, you know, Red Bull have won this one, on to the next one, whatever, like they normally do, because, you know, Red Bull have been winning races the past couple of years and it's not something that was, you know, into the unknown, like, you know, if somebody else randomly would have won. So Mercedes were okay going into the third race of the season. And then we had Spain and Portugal, and again, that was pretty much all the same as usual. We thought this was just going to be a repeat of 2020. We had the usual Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas situation, and it was all fairly simple. You know, obviously Checo was getting up to speed in that Red Bull, but we had that similar situation where Valtteri Bottas was always behind the top two, but Hamilton was always ahead of Max. And then we come in to Monaco and Baku, and this was where the tables turned. This is where we went into the street tracks and Mercedes just struggled. Okay, Lewis Hamilton from the get-go really struggled in Monaco, and also Valtteri Bottas did as well, but not quite as much. He had a little bit more pace than Lewis, but honestly, like, not much. Max qualified P2, however started the race pretty much in first because Charles had the issue. We had Valtteri Bottas who actually pulled it to third, but we had Hamilton in 7th. So Mercedes were very much struggling, and we know that Lewis Hamilton has always struggled in Monaco, but I think this was where Mercedes were like, this is really bad. We really didn't expect to struggle quite this much, but they did. The race didn't go any better whatsoever. It actually turned out atrocious for them. Bottas had a DNF and Hamilton stayed in 7th, so just a little bit of points, but when Max is winning the race and Checo is up there, it's not what you need. We had the championship turning around, and I think Mercedes kind of then worried, but we went into Baku, which was a street circuit as well, but it's more of an open one. But it was not any better for Mercedes. In Baku, we could hardly see them Mercedes on the timing streets whatsoever. In practice, it was absolutely awful, but actually in quali, Lewis did put himself up to P2. Valtteri was a mere P10. I don't know what happened there. So we thought, oh, maybe it's okay. You know, Lewis has got himself up there. We know Valtteri kind of underperforms anyway, so we thought maybe this is okay. Then we got to the race, which probably wouldn't have actually been too bad. They didn't have too much pace within the race. I don't really know what Valtteri was doing, but Max obviously had that issue with the Pirelli tyre, and Lewis was on to win the race if he hadn't have pressed his magic button. So that could have changed things a lot. However, it didn't, so he went deep into the first corner, and we had a little bit of an issue there in that fast kind of like that last kind of sprint race thing that we had. So anyway, then we went to France, and this is where we thought, oh, Mercedes are definitely going to bring this back now. Like, there's no chance that they've actually lost this. We just went to the street circuits that weren't going too well, so we thought, oh, don't worry, Mercedes will be back. This moment here, I think, is where Mercedes knew. I think you can let go of the street circuits and you can let go of that situation, but actually when you get to a proper track like France and you're still not ahead again, and Red Bull are continuously getting faster and faster, and Checo also is performing it more and more and more each week, that's when you sit and worry. Max took pole by 2 tenths over Hamilton, and he just had more pace, and Normally you see Mercedes kind of playing them strategy games. They're like, oh, we've not got this, or oh, our tyres are bad here, or we've got no pace, and then they just come out the block and have loads of pace, but they genuinely didn't have any answers. They had such a bad strategy on the Sunday, which ruined both of the races. How that would have gone if maybe they'd done a right strategy could have been really different, but we just don't normally see Mercedes making these mistakes. Normally it's Red Bull, and it just seems like I'm watching a repeat of the last couple of years, however, with like changed teams and liveries. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like the mistakes that Red Bull were making is what Mercedes are making this year, and the perfect performances that Mercedes were doing, Red Bull are now doing. And we've now got to Austria. Okay, now Austria is when I'm now filming this. We've obviously had a couple more races since, and I'm talking about the Styrian Grand Prix. Now this was, I think this was, it wasn't like the biggest turning point, but I think Hamilton was like, I don't have any pace. Where are they getting this pace from? We don't have this pace. I don't know how they're getting this pace. Max just dominated the race. Hamilton dropped back like 7 or 8 seconds, I think, to the point where they pitted to get the fastest lap because it was genuinely just, they just couldn't get close. And we know that Mercedes can't quite follow close. You know, they've always been that car that can't follow. But for it to actually get to the situation where Max was just dominating and he was doing a Lewis Hamilton, and there was absolutely nothing that Mercedes could do, very worrying for them. And I think they've now realised that they don't have this biggest package that they think they do. And Red Bull probably going to be the fastest car in the next couple of races, especially as they keep on developing, because Toto Wolff has came out and said we are no longer developing this Mercedes car for this year and we are focusing on next year, which is great. However, Mercedes is such a big organisation, I don't see how they can't put any sort of, you know, resource or money into this year's car, because I don't think Lewis wants to be humiliated, I don't think Valtteri wants to be humiliated, and I would hate for them to lose because they haven't developed the car. I want to see Red Bull developing their car, I want to see Mercedes developing their car, I want to see a true battle. I don't just want to see Mercedes give up in a way to focus for next year, which I think is a very smart move if you were leading comfortably like they were last year or the year before. But when it gets to a situation now where like we're not developing our car anymore, Lewis is like, I don't know what else to do, Valtteri is like absolutely given up at this point, Red Bull are absolutely dominating. I want to see a fight, and the more races we go to, you know, Red Bull are increasingly getting better and better, and I wanted to see, and I think everybody wanted to see, this title fight. So if Mercedes give up now and we don't see that, it's gonna ruin it. But coming back to my first question is, do I believe that the Mercedes dominance is over? I really don't. I think that if, you know, this is the case that they are putting everything into next year, I think they're going to bounce back stronger next year. It's still a very tight fight this year, and obviously as I actually read that, I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and I realised, you know, France, they did have the strategy issue. Obviously the straight line speed is worrying. I think in Austria they were saying we just don't have this straight line speed, it's not even in the corners anymore, it is the straight line, which Mercedes used to be renowned for their straight line speed. So something has definitely changed there. But do I think the dominance is over? No, I don't. I think they are going to come back stronger next year, but I definitely think this year it's looking every race it's looking more and more unlikely that they're going to win the championship, which is crazy. I think to anybody, whether you're a Mercedes fan, whether you're a neutral, whether you're a Red Bull fan, I think it's very crazy to look at this and think, well, Red Bull are probably going to win this. But we never know. We never know whether Mercedes might end up picking up this car again and doing a little bit more research and development on it, because I don't know whether they're going to want to just give this away, and I don't know whether Lewis is going to want to give this away. Again, I can't speak for Valtteri because I really, bless his heart, I don't know what to say about him anymore. But that's the situation. Do I believe the dominance is over? No. Do I think that it's going to be make or break for the next year, depending on whether their development has actually worked? Because we don't know what Red Bull are doing as well. We don't know what any other team are doing in terms of development for next year. It could be a very tight battle. But for this year, it's looking very good for Red Bull Racing. So that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section below whether you think the Mercedes dominance is over, whether you think next year is going to change everything, whether you think they could claw back this year. I want to know all of your thoughts on this. And yeah, just thanks again for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you do want to see more. Maybe I'll come back to this at the end of the year and see whether it was Red Bull or Mercedes that got that championship. But yeah, thanks again for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.